This is from Billy's Talking Points memo from Tuesday, January 27th, 2015. The presidential race is on. Billy just basically went into who's running or seems to be running. I know that Chris Christie opened up a PAC this week. Scott Walker opened up a PAC this week. I believe that Mark Rubio is about ready to open up a PAC. They were all at the Freedom Summit, and a number of them went and saw the Koch brothers the next day in terms of their behind-the-scenes wink, wink, nod, nod with the really, really rich. The two Koch brothers are worth about $80 billion each, and they're looking to I saw that they were looking to raise approximately $899 million for the 2016 campaign. And I'm going, where does 899 come from? Can't you just make it one cool billion and just leave it at that? Now, it's not going to be just their money. They're going to go in with a lot of other people who have an exceptional amount of money, and basically they're in a position now where they're just basically, this is how they want to. This is how they want to buy an election. They want to get behind people who they think they can win. And in some respects, more power to them, and in other respects, don't you think that we should have laws that don't allow this type of thing, where the very, very rich can influence everyone else into getting the type of government that they want, so that government will do what they want. Now remember, the Koch brothers have a lot of money in oil. That's where they get most of it. I don't know if they get most of it, but that's where they got their start. That's where their father got their start. That's where the fact that they hated government, because everyone from West Texas hated government, because back in the day, in the 30s, 40s, 50s, especially 50s and 60s, you know, there was high taxation, and so all these oil people hated government. And of course, the Koch brothers, they never earned a penny in their life, because it was their father's company that they took over after their father passed away. They hate government too. One of them ran for vice president in 1980 and part of the Libertarian Party, which is no government. So, just to get that part of it in, and Billy went on to talk about the potential presidential candidates. He seemed to give a little bit more of a wink, wink, nod to the fact that this could be the up-and-coming guy with Scott Walker. Now, Scott Walker is a very thorough professional, and he did a pretty good job at the Freedom Summit. I understand that a number of people indicated that he did a pretty good job at the Freedom Summit, and that he did go out and see the Koch brothers after that. And Billy put his little segment in there where he showed a clip from Rush Limbaugh's show, and Rush Limbaugh talked about how Scott Walker nailed it. Now, does it appear that the two most popular right-wing voices, Rush Limbaugh and Billy O'Reilly, are in the position where they're going to give a nod to Scott Walker? I don't know. Time will have to tell. It appears that might be doing it, because I don't know how often Billy would actually show clips of Rush Limbaugh saying positive things about someone, and Billy just saying, yeah, that's sort of the way it is. Now, I want to just talk a few minutes about Scott Walker. Is that yes, he is a thorough professional. He hates government. I don't know why. He's a preacher's son. He hates unions. He hates civil servants. He will do anything to get rid of them. It's almost like when you remember when you used to watch the old cartoons, and there would be that mad scientist, ha ha ha, when I run the world, when I rule the world, and of course they have this one fatal flaw. Now, I'm not saying that Scott Walker has a fatal flaw, but the fact is he's never run a government to try and make it run well. He's never looked at all the possibilities of how to making it run well. He's only looked at the possibilities of how to cut things, of how to not make it run well, and to make it worse. At the same time, he believes that he's actually making it better. So right now, Wisconsin is not doing well with job growth, even though he promised that he would have 250,000 jobs by the end of his first term, which he never had, but he did get reelected. I don't even think he came remotely close. And in the regional area, he's not doing well. And head-to-head against Wisconsin, which has a Democratic governor, that he's doing very, very poorly. So he has a number of flaws in that regard. There are a number of John Doe operations that are going on over there in Wisconsin, and that would be the equivalent of a grand jury investigation. Some people who had worked for him have been convicted and have gone to jail. I believe there's two John Doe investigations are going on right there. And his people in Wisconsin, you know, tried to get rid of the John Doe investigations, indicating, you know, took them to court saying that, you know, I can't remember, but very, very flimsy things. Billy went on to talk about that Scott Walker, you know, governor elected 3 times in 4 years in a very heavy Democratic state. It may be a heavy Democratic state, but the legislature is all Republican on both the House and the Senate. They've done a couple draconian laws. They're looking to do some more. I think one of them is on abortion. And Scott Walker really doesn't want to get involved in the state legislature right now. He just sort of wants things to stay as they are, so that when he runs for president, he doesn't have to backtrack on anything. So the state legislature, because they have both the House and Senate, I believe they have majority. I mean, not majorities, but you know, they can do whatever they want. He doesn't want to sign legislation that's going to be controversial in 2016. But getting back to the John Doe investigations, as I said, he has had people going to jail, and part of it, I would, you know, when I look at what has gone on in those, as to why these people went to, very, very petty things. Scott Walker is, you know, he knows that these political players, they know everybody that works for them. They know everyone who's against them, and they love to get revenge. And he's the type of person that loves to get revenge. As I said, he's very thorough, he's very professional, he knows what he's talking about, he talks a good game, he's got money interests behind him, but he's also been a governor that there's been a lot of controversy. The press has very much been behind him in Wisconsin, both the written word and on radio, and he's also had both the House and the Senate in terms of the state behind him on that also. So he's coming from a place where he really, really hasn't been challenged. He's been challenged by the Democrats, but remember, they never had a majority. So, and the recall, you know, people didn't want to vote him out in a lot of ways because they just didn't think that once you elect someone that you should recall him. And he did win re-election against what might have been considered someone who had never worked in government, but possibly a professional candidate. I believe her name was Mary Burke, who was a vice president of the Trek Bicycles. So he's been through the ringer, and he knows his shtick. He can apply his shtick. He can stay to it. He very rarely goes off message, but he would have a completely different thing when he gets onto the national stage, especially if he got a little bit of traction. And let's remember that he is going. I don't want to make the rest of this about Scott. Well, I do want to make the rest of this about Scott Walker. Is that he is young. He still has all of his hair. He's starting to grow a bald spot, but his shtick. You can, I mean, for me, I can see right through his shtick. I can see right through it very, very clearly, very readily. And the fact that he doesn't go off script, he's going to have to answer some questions. He's going to have to, and we'll have to see how he answers those questions. And one of my questions right now is Billy, by doing the clip from Rush Limbaugh, is Billy basically going behind, getting behind Scott Walker early on, so to speak, his own way of doing it by really not doing it. Is he doing it sort of to help him get traction, thinking that this might be the guy that really could take it? Because a lot of the other ones, I don't want to go into all of it, but it's all going to play out. But if Rush is behind him and Billy is behind him a little, is he going to get some traction in the near future? We'll see.